Downtown, Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padres gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padres gang. Yeah, that.
And hey everybody, welcome to the Padres versus Cardinals Talking Friars pregame show for June 1st, 2022. That's right. We have entered the month of June. The Padres are looking to take one of these three games in the Cardinals series. Lost the first two games. They lost the first game, couple home runs by the Cardinals, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Gorman. Lost last night in extra innings. The home plate umpire, Chris Siegel, did not help. He ejected Manny Machado, and he would have been nice to have in that 10th inning. Kim dropped that ball that was thrown by Alfaro on the stolen base attempt, and that ended up being the game-winning run on Pujols' sac fly in extras. But Chris Siegel, who had a terrible strike zone pretty much the entire night, just didn't help the Padres. And then the offense as well times last night after striking out 13 times in the first game of this series. So that is not good enough. That is too many times that you're not even giving yourself a chance to win the game, a chance to get on base. And therefore, you're lessening your chance to win the game. So the Padres offense is going to need to pick it up today in the series finale. And then obviously over the weekend when they have a 4-game series against another good pitching team in the Milwaukee Brewers. Just so you know, I have the breakdown. If you have not seen it, it is on this very Talking Friars YouTube channel. Just go to the videos tab or playlists and then video breakdowns. It should be up there of the Manny Machado and Bob Melvin ejection. I have a breakdown on that. Lip reading what Manny said, a little bit of what Bob Melvin said. I couldn't read everything, but tried to do it as good as I could. And then for anyone that wasn't watching live, I gave some context to why Manny was pissed off and why it was definitely okay for him to be pissed off. And so I encourage you to go watch that breakdown. Again, it's on this YouTube channel, and I hope that you subscribe to this YouTube channel for daily Padres content like this pregame show that I don't get paid for. I do it every day, live from Petco Park sometimes. I don't get paid for it. I don't do it for the money, but I'd appreciate your support. Some people want to implement the super chats and all that, and I have to get to 1,000 subscribers to do that. And all that money would just go towards improving the show, maybe buying some stuff for giveaways for you guys, all that sort of stuff. All right. So for today's game, series finale, I will be going live after the game to have my series reaction episode like I always do. But the Padres are 30-19 entering today's game after 2 straight losses, still stuck on that 30 win total. The Cardinals are 28-21. You can voicemail the show 619-335-5770 to be featured on an upcoming episode. Maybe today if you have some thoughts on yesterday's game or the day before that, or while you're watching today's game and you have some thoughts, you're mad or you're happy, feel free to give that number a call. We've had one caller from Pacific Beach talk about some potential bullpen reinforcements, played his message on the air, so that was fun. And I encourage you to do the same. And then at Talking Friars on Twitter for in-game highlights, for small plays, big plays, for all the games that I'm not at, I clip those highlights. And then Instagram, TikTok for not as many highlights, but for all the other stuff as well, the post-game reactions, the short post-game reactions, the home runs, the Padres hit, stuff like that, bullpen charts, all that stuff. All right, let's get to the game here. Enough yapping about my stuff. All right, Valley Sports San Diego, 97.3 The Fan, obviously is where you can watch or listen to this. If you're a Padre fan, 10:15 a.m. is first pitch. Padres are 3 games back. Cardinals are 3 games back in their respective divisions, the National League West and the National League Central. Both are in second place. Padres behind the Dodgers, Cardinals behind the Milwaukee Brewers. Padres obviously coming off that loss last night, as I said. Today's pitching matchup, Dakota Hudson on the mound for the Cardinals, Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Yu Darvish enters tonight with a 3.76 ERA. He's been pitching really good, had that one stinker against the Giants earlier this year, but other than that, he's had pretty much quality starts. He's allowed 2 or less runs in 3 of his last 4 starts. He gave up 2 runs to Milwaukee in his last start. But for me, I think that the Padres can count on him. I can count on him to go at least 6 innings. He's done that 7 times already in his starts this year. So, behind Musgrove, that's probably the guy that I want on the mound right now, on the Padres. I mean, Mackenzie Gore, yeah, but Darvish is pitching pretty good. You'd probably be splitting hairs between Gore or Darvish on what guy you would, rather want on the mound right now behind Musgrove. So that's a little bit about the pitching situation for Darvish. As for Dakota Hudson, he enters today with a 3.22 ERA. This is a guy, at least based on his game logs that I looked at last night after the Padres lost. This is a guy the Padres can get to. He's allowed 3 or more runs in 4 of his starts so far this season. He's gone probably 4 or 5 innings in most of his starts, so you probably expect that again today. He went 4 and 2/3 innings in 3 of his last 4 times out. So this is definitely a guy the Padres can get to, but I also felt like they could get to, um, who was it? Whoever started game 1 for the Cardinals. I'm blanking on who that was right now. But I thought that they could get to him as well, and they didn't really do that. All right. For the bullpen situation for today, let me pull that up. Taylor Rogers ended up pitching yesterday, but he probably would be available today. Only went 8 pitches in that 10th inning. Luis Garcia pitched the 9th. He pitched good. Or excuse me, no, he pitched that was the 8th, right? Suarez, I think, pitched the 9th. I'm mixing up those guys. But Rogers, Garcia, Suarez, Chris Matt did not pitch. Rogers, Garcia, Suarez, and Stammen pitched last night. Um, So I would probably think that they want to try to stay away from Suarez and probably Stammen. Like if they have a lead, probably they'd be fine with going with Garcia and Rogers and then Chris Matt maybe. Who's pitching tomorrow? Do we know who's pitching tomorrow yet? Let me see. Just waiting for my app to load. No starters named for tomorrow. For the entire series, at least according to the MLB app. All right. Well, if Darvish is pitching today, wouldn't it be Mania tomorrow? I think that's how the setup is. So with that being the case, Mania is someone he might give up 3 runs, but as we saw his last start, he's going to grind. He's going to go those 6, 7 innings, right? So you're probably not going to use Chris Matt tomorrow, at least. Excuse me. Probably not going to use Chris Matt tomorrow, so he'd probably be available today. So I think Chris Matt, Garcia, Rogers, even Garcia had 22 pitches yesterday. I feel like that could be a 7, 8, 9, maybe not in any particular order, at least with Garcia and Chris Matt, but that could be what they end up going with today, saying if, Darvish goes like 6 innings. All right. So that's the bullpen situation. As for the lineups, all right, so for the Padres, Jurickson Profar leading off, Manny Machado hitting second in there after being ejected last night. Eric Hosmer at first base, Luke Voigt at DH, Jake Cronenworth is hitting fifth. He hit third last night because Hos was not in the lineup. Kim hitting sixth, Nola hitting seventh. Grisham is there at center field, batting eighth. Then Azokar's in right, batting ninth. With Azokar in right, that means that Will Myers is not in the lineup. Is that concerning? Maybe I'd say a little bit. I'd say not too much concerning because when guys come back from injuries, I have seen this in the past where they play them or where it's the training staff's plan. They do a workout the day before, then they play in the game the next day. Then they don't play the next day. They take a day off just to make sure they're going back slowly. They don't want to put him on a rehab assignment. They want him to impact the big league club, so they give him an off day after that first game back. And so maybe that's what they're doing with Will here. If that's not what they're doing, then yeah, you're going to see him put on the IL, and then probably Nomar Mazara gets pulled up, right? That would be my guess. He's been raking in AAA. I know that experiment, bringing up a guy that didn't rake, or excuse me, that did rake in AAA earlier in the year with Trace Thompson, didn't work out. That did not work out, that experiment. I understand that. But you don't know if Nomar Mazara isn't going to work out unless you try it, right? And if Myers is going on the IL, it would make sense to bring up someone that might be able to provide some type of power, right? And can play the outfield if you need him to. Um, that seems like the logical option. CJ Abrams needs more time in the minor leagues. That's not an option, right? Um, Brent Rooker, he just came off the IL. Is he on the 40 man? I don't know if he's on the 40 man. I know he might be. I think he's on the 40 man. So in terms of roster like construction and not having to take a guy off the 40 man, that could make sense. More sense maybe than Mazara. But I just don't know the timeline of how ready the Padres are with Rooker. Are they ready to bring Rooker up just because of an injury? Maybe he's someone that they want to bring up and keep up, right? That's probably their ideal scenario. And then, all right, that's the Padres lineup. Voigt's DHing, like I said earlier. And then with St. Louis, no Nolan Gorman again, but Nolan Arenado's in there. Paul Goldschmidt is looking for his 23rd straight game with a hit. Believe it or not, I saw this morning, he's actually second on the hit streak list, the current hit streak in Major League Baseball. Trey Turner is number 1 at 23 games. Goldie is at 22. So hopefully he does not get a hit, sees that streak end today against Darvish and the Padres, but he has been on fire. So it's Brendan Donovan leading off, Goldie's DHing, hitting second, Nolan Arenado's at third, Juan Yepes batting fourth at first base, Corey Dickerson, the former Pirate and Marlin, is in left. Lars Nootbaar, who threw out Jose Azocar last night. Was that in the 10th inning? Yeah, I think it was in the 10th. Threw him out by a mile, and I'll talk about that on the series reaction tonight, or today after the game. He's hitting 6th, Edmundo Sosa hitting 7th, Andrew Kisner is the catcher, so no Yachty today on the day game after a night game. Harrison Bader is in center field batting ninth. So that's the Cardinals lineup. Padres lineup. The only notable thing for me is Myers being out of it, just because we'll see if an IL stint ends up coming because of that, or is it just the training staff's plan to give him a day off after having him play one game? Because I have seen that before. All right, what to watch for is in this game. Can they not strike out 13 times? And what I mean, obviously, is can they strike out less than 13 times? That would be ideal. 13 strikeouts the last 2 games. Obviously, that's 26 in total in this series so far. That's not good enough. That's too much swing and miss. That's too many at-bats that are being wasted, that balls aren't being put in play, where you're forcing the other team to make a play. You're forcing them to make a play when you're putting the ball in play. That's not happening enough for the Padres. So can they strike out less against Dakota Hudson than they had the last 2 nights, last night being against Adam Wainwright, where I think they went 13 batters being retired and not reaching base against him. You just got to be better than that. I know the umpire was bad, but you still got to get on base somehow. Can Darvish carry the bullpen? You got a 4-game series with Milwaukee coming up. So they have a good pitching team. They have a pretty good offense as well. You would probably hope to rest the bullpen. I mean, obviously you hope to score enough runs so Taylor Rogers doesn't have to pitch today, so he'll be ready for that Milwaukee series. I know he only threw 8 pitches yesterday, but you hope that he doesn't have to pitch today. Same with Garcia. You hope that it's like Chris Matt. Well, I mean, not really. You don't really hope that it's Chris Matt because I guess He's been high leverage, so you do want him available for the Milwaukee series. But in terms of guys to fill multiple innings, what you hope today is that it's someone like that. Or if they're willing to have Stammen go back-to-back days and he pitch a couple innings, and it's okay if he's down the next couple days for the Milwaukee series. If it's Stammen and Wilson after that, you hope that's what happens and it's in the Padres' favor instead of having to use, high leverage guys again today after an extra inning game. And by the way, it was a night game, so you got a day game after a night game, and it's back-to-back days for guys. You hope that doesn't happen. Find a way to win one game this series. These type of teams, the Cardinals, the Brewers, the playoff teams that you're probably gonna have to face. Let's win those games. I know you don't have Fernando, but find a way. Find a way to win. Padre pick last night was Cronenworth. He went 0 for 3. So I'm 30-14 so far in my Padre pick, my pregame show Padre pick. Today I'm going to go with Jerks and Profar, like him batting leadoff, the left-right scenario there. He had a big hit last night. I know it didn't end up scoring a run as Okar got thrown out, but he came up big there. And then I think he had back-to-back days before yesterday, of multi-hit games. I think he went 3 for 5 in the series opener in this series. So he seems to be hitting pretty well. Got the left versus right matchup. And so that's who I will go to today for my Padre pick. Let's see if there's some MLB news to talk about. I mean, Colorado hosts Miami at a little after noon today. It's a doubleheader. Giants are in Philly at 3 o'clock. Yankees blew out the Angels yesterday. That was a game that I talked about on yesterday's pregame show. The Dodgers play the Pirates, and that's at 5:10. Yesterday, what happened with the Dodgers yesterday? The Dodgers lost 5-3. So sad to see. Not. So that's some NL West action. And then I'm just looking through some notes. Don't see really any other notable MLB notes. So since there's there is a comment here. Okay. D-Mobile says, got to win these games now to build on later. I agree. Yep. Totally agree. And you got 2 winning ball clubs coming up. 4 games against Milwaukee, 3 games against the Mets. Those 3 games are back home, but still 3 games against the Mets. And then you got the off day after the Mets series. Then I think you play the Pirates. So, yeah, these are winning teams. Get these wins. Any wins that you can get. And you obviously never want to get swept. And then, by the way, before I get out of here, some might ask, why you got a red shirt on when we're playing the Cardinals? It's not a Cardinals shirt. Here, I'll stand up. It's a Nike shirt. Whatever. I have Aztec socks on. All right, relax. That's just what I picked out to work out this morning. Whatever. I'll be back with the series reaction after the game. Highlights at Talking Friars on Twitter. Feel free for voicemail 619. Let me get that number right real quick. 619, I think it's 335-5770. Let me just make sure real quick. Okay, here it is. Yep, 619-335-5770 for the voicemail number if you want your voice, your message, your passionate thoughts featured on the show. Feel free to dial up that number. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy the game today. 10:15 is the first pitch. See ya.